Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so excited to share something truly special with you today. If this is your first time here, welcome. You are in the right place, and I promise today's talk is going to inspire, motivate, and maybe even change the way you think about life, challenges, and growth. Today, I want to talk about a book that has touched millions of people around the world, a book that is honest, powerful, and deeply human. The book is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I recently finished reading this book and I can't wait to share my thoughts with you. I want to walk you through the story, highlight some of the most inspiring parts, and explain why this book is not just a memoir, but a roadmap to understanding resilience, courage, and self discovery. Becoming is Michelle Obama's life story, told with authenticity, humor, and humility. From her childhood on the South Side of Chicago to her years as the First Lady of the United States, Michelle opens up about her experiences, her struggles, and the lessons she learned along the way. The book is divided into three parts: Becoming Me, Becoming Us, and Becoming More. Each part shows a different stage of her life, and each part teaches us something valuable about perseverance, identity, and purpose. Let's start with Becoming Me. In this section, Michelle talks about her childhood and family. She describes growing up in a working class neighborhood in Chicago, living with her parents and older brother, Craig. Her parents instilled in her a sense of discipline, hard work, and integrity. She talks about her father, Fraser Robinson, with so much love and admiration. He had multiple sclerosis, but he never let it define him. Instead, he worked hard every day and showed his children that determination and character matter more than circumstances. Reading about her childhood really made me reflect on my own upbringing. Michelle's honesty about her struggles, her doubts, and her triumphs reminded me that no matter where you start, your mindset and your effort can shape your future. One key point from this section is how important it is to embrace who you are, even when you feel out of place or uncertain. Michelle didn't always feel confident or secure, but she learned to trust herself, and that trust became the foundation for everything that followed. Moving on to her education, Michelle writes about attending Princeton University and Harvard Law School. She talks openly about the challenges she faced as a Black woman in predominantly white institutions. The feelings of being under scrutiny, the fear of not belonging, and the constant pressure to prove herself are experiences that many people can relate to. One thing that stood out to me is how Michelle balanced ambition with authenticity. She didn't try to become someone she wasn't. Instead, she focused on growing her skills, learning from mentors, and finding her own voice. Now, let's talk about the section Becoming Us. This part of the book focuses on Michelle's relationship with Barack Obama, their marriage, and the family life they built together. I loved this section because it shows that even people who seem perfect on the outside face challenges, doubts, and conflicts. Michelle shares her honest reflections about dating, falling in love, and managing a partnership while pursuing ambitious careers. She talks about compromise, patience, communication, and the value of shared goals. One story that really resonated with me is when she talks about balancing her career with family responsibilities. Like many women, Michelle had to navigate societal expectations and her own personal ambitions. She discusses the importance of supporting your partner while staying true to yourself, and how love requires both sacrifice and authenticity. Her reflections made me think deeply about my own relationships and how we often underestimate the effort and understanding that real partnerships demand. Finally, we come to Becoming More, the part of the book that focuses on her public life and experiences as the First Lady. Michelle shares stories about initiatives she led, challenges she faced in the White House, and the pressures of public scrutiny. She talks about the Let's Move campaign, which promoted healthy eating and exercise for children, and the Reach Higher initiative, which encouraged young people to continue their education. What I found incredibly inspiring is Michelle's transparency about fear and self doubt. Even as First Lady, she experienced insecurity, questioned her decisions, and worried about making mistakes. but she emphasizes that growth comes from stepping into discomfort, facing challenges, and using every opportunity to make a positive impact. Throughout the book, Michelle's writing style is warm, reflective, and relatable. She uses personal anecdotes, humor, and insights to draw readers in. I loved how she shares small moments, like cooking with her mother, celebrating family traditions, or navigating a tough day in Washington, as these tiny details make her story feel real and accessible. Reading Becoming also reminded me of the importance of persistence and self-belief. Michelle didn't have a perfect path, and she encountered setbacks, criticism, and moments of doubt. But she continued to push forward, always learning, adapting, and staying true to her values. Her story teaches us that success is rarely linear. It's a journey filled with learning, resilience, and courage. I want to highlight a few specific lessons that stood out to me while reading this book. First, the value of mentorship. Michelle emphasizes how mentors and role models shaped her life, offering guidance, support, and perspective. She also stresses the importance of community, how family, friends, and colleagues can support and inspire us. Second, embracing failure and vulnerability. Michelle doesn't hide her mistakes or regrets. She shares them openly, showing that failure is a crucial part of growth. All of us face setbacks, but it's how we respond that defines our future. Third, the power of self-discovery. Michelle continually reflects on who she is, what she values, and how she can contribute to the world. She shows us that taking the time to understand ourselves is not selfish. It's essential for meaningful success and fulfillment. Finally, the book inspires action. It's not just a story to read and admire, it's a call to live authentically, work hard, and make a difference in whatever way we can. By the end of the book, I felt motivated to evaluate my own life, goals, and contributions. One thing I loved about reading Becoming is that it made me feel connected to someone whose life might seem distant or glamorous. Michelle's experiences are extraordinary, yet her reflections are deeply human. We all face challenges, uncertainties, and moments of doubt. Her story reassures us that even in those moments, we can grow, make meaningful choices, and impact the world around us. If you haven't read this book yet, I highly recommend it. Pick it out, take your time, and allow yourself to immerse in Michelle's journey. You'll gain insights into leadership, resilience, and the beauty of pursuing your purpose while staying true to yourself. Before I finish, I want to encourage you to reflect on your own story. What lessons can you take from Michelle's life? How can you embrace your challenges, nurture your growth, and contribute positively to the people around you? Becoming is not just a story to read and admire. It's a reminder that every life is a story worth shaping, learning from, and sharing. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this talk has inspired you as much as reading the book inspired me. If you enjoyed this discussion, please like the video, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel to not miss future stories and insights. Remember, learning from others' experiences is a powerful way to grow, and Becoming by Michelle Obama is a perfect example of how a life story can teach us, inspire us, and empower us to become the best versions of ourselves.